What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Liverpool-Newcastle's post-match analysis video. What did you think of this game, especially that Firmino magical backheel flick to Salah for the third Liverpool goal? That was the highlight of the day, but Sadio Mane's emphatic finish into the top corner was also brilliant. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, leave a like, it just takes 1 second. And Liverpool are top of the table and we extend our Premier League record of winning 14 games in a row now, and we started off the season with 5 from 5, a perfect 100% record for Liverpool, and we sit at the top of the table, and I'm very happy because after 1-0 the game got a lot more nervous for Liverpool because Newcastle started off really well. They had a couple of chances, and Jethro Willems, who is only on loan from Frankfurt, he's a left back, he's left-footed, he's a defender, but he cuts back to his right foot and unleashes an absolute rocket into the top corner, and that really stunned Anfield. I didn't expect that Newcastle to score first, but Liverpool kept their nerve and we really got back into the game very quickly. Sadio Mane scored a magnificent goal, and Mane is now our top scorer in the whole season, because he also scored 2 goals in the European Super Cup final, and he now has, I think, 4 goals in the Premier League, just like Mohamed Salah. And it's very difficult to pick the man of the match because I thought that Firmino and Mane both were absolutely fantastic and they both probably deserve the man of the match award. Trent Alexander-Arnold could have scored 2 goals on another day. The Newcastle goalkeeper was the only reason why Liverpool didn't score 6 goals today. Yes, Liverpool could have scored 6 goals today. Newcastle defended well, but still Liverpool carved them open time and time again. And Dubravka, the Newcastle goalkeeper, I thought got lucky a couple of times, especially after Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson also had 2 chances which easily could have gone in. So Sadio Mane scores a brilliant equalizer into the top corner, and then the winner, the second Mane goal, was also a brilliant pass by Firmino. And actually Firmino didn't start, Origi started, but he rolled his ankle. Jurgen Klopp said it wasn't very serious, but Origi had to come off and Firmino came on in the 37th minute, and Firmino got 2 assists as a substitute, and he could have scored as well. What a brilliant substitute appearance by Firmino, and I was so happy to see him again in the thick of things. I think that Firmino is playing his best football right now at Liverpool, and also Sadio Mane. And when Mohamed Salah improves even more, I mean, this front 3 is frightening. It's, in my opinion, it's the best attack in the Premier League and potentially the best attack in world football as well. Mane is in red hot form, Firmino is in red hot form, and I think Salah is in form as well. Him scoring again is very good for his confidence. So Firmino got 2 assists, the first of which was a little bit lucky because the goalkeeper comes out. I think he should grab it, but the goalkeeper hesitates a little bit and Mane could get a toe to it. The ball ricochets back off to Mane, off the goalkeeper, and Mane has an easy tap in into the empty net. So it's 2-1 Liverpool, and after that we created even more chances in the second half, and we really should have scored a lot more goals than 3. Salah's goal was the highlight of the game, in my opinion, even though Mane's goal was brilliant. But the way that Firmino double backheels it to the path of Salah is just magnificent, and the way that Salah goes past 2 defenders like they are not there, and then he slots it home into the bottom corner. What a brilliant goal by Salah, but it was all about the assist as well from Firmino. So I think Liverpool's front 3 were electric, and I really hope that we can keep this form going, because with the injuries that Man City are having, Leroy Sané out for 6 months, Laporte out for 6 months, I'm just hoping that somewhere Man City will drop more points. And I think the key to Liverpool winning the Premier League is to actually be again ahead by 4, 5, 6 points ahead of Man City. because I think then in the second half of the season Liverpool won't make the same mistake of throwing away another 7-point advantage ahead of Man City. I think we learned a lot from last season, and last season Liverpool were absolutely magnificent in the Premier League, but this season we have an even more ruthless edge. And I think Liverpool realized after last season that basically we have to go all out and try and win every single game in the Premier League. That's the only way that we can beat Man City to the Premier League title. So now Liverpool are playing like every game is a cup final, and we are trying to win every game. Of course, last season we also tried to win every game, don't get me wrong, but in some games we were maybe a tad more cautious than we needed to be. I remember the Leicester City game where we dropped points, the West Ham game where we dropped points, the Everton and Man United draws. Those are 4 draws which came in like a 2-month period, where I think if Liverpool were a little bit more ruthless, maybe we could have won more points there, and then Man City wouldn't have been able to claw the deficit back. But now I think the most important thing is that Liverpool are 100% in the Premier League, and I think Firmino was an absolutely incredibly good player today. I mean, he is in top form. I can understand why Jurgen Klopp rested him, because Firmino played for Brazil just like 2.5-3 days before this game, but he didn't look tired, Firmino. He looked like he is in a form of his life, and he is. And I think against Napoli, Liverpool have to be a lot more clinical, because I don't think we will create as many goal scoring chances against Napoli. So if we are as wasteful with our chances, we could get punished. Napoli away will be a really big test for Liverpool. Probably the biggest test since the Man City Community Shield final, which I think Liverpool played well and we were unlucky to lose that game on penalties. So I think the Napoli-Liverpool game will be a very big test for Liverpool, because Napoli at home, they are one of the best sides in the Serie A and one of the best sides in Europe. It's one of the most difficult stadiums to play in, and I think Napoli will want revenge after last season, the way that Liverpool knocked them out on goal difference from the Champions League. But of course, Liverpool will also want to put it right, the result where we lost to Napoli away from home, and then we really had to scrape the last few games in the Champions League. So it was very nervy. I think this season the Champions League group stage will be a little bit more straightforward for Liverpool, but only if we avoid defeat at Napoli. If we lose the first game in the Champions League, then we will be in trouble. So now let's talk about the other games, because so far so good, and I love that Liverpool, when they play first in the Premier League and we win, I can just sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the Premier League action. I watched the Manchester United-Leicester game, and I wasn't really interested in what both teams are doing in terms of, I'm not really worried about anybody apart from Manchester City, because I think Man United on another day, if Leicester City are more ruthless, they could have easily drawn or lost that game, and they have done so previously. So I think Man United being in 4th is actually a good result for us, because now Leicester City are also on 8 points, and Leicester are a serious contender for the top 6. I really think that Leicester City are now almost on the same level as Manchester United and Arsenal in terms of a squad strength. Do they have the ruthless edge? I'm not so sure. When you see games where Leicester City on another day they could have beaten Chelsea, on another day they could have got a draw or maybe even a win against Manchester United. These are the games that Leicester need to win, or at least not lose, if they want to get into the top 6. But the way that Leicester couldn't make their advantage count against Man United tells me that Leicester maybe aren't ready to break into the top 6. And this is the season to do it, because Chelsea are in transition, Manchester United are in transition, Arsenal still rebuilding, and Tottenham are look pretty stable. They won 4-0 against Crystal Palace. Heung-min Son scored 2 goals. I didn't see the game, but judging by the stats, they were very, very dominant. And also Chelsea scored 5 goals against Wolverhampton. I think Wolverhampton feeling the effects of the Europa League football, because they look a shadow of their former team. And it happened to Burnley. Burnley finished 7th like 2 seasons ago, and last season they had a period where they were struggling really against, fighting against relegation. In the end, they comfortably finished in mid-table, but Burnley actually crashed out before the Europa League group stage. So I think Wolverhampton have a much better squad than what they have shown so far. I mean, they only have 3 points from 5 games. They haven't won in 5 games. That's probably the biggest surprise so far of the Premier League season. But Wolverhampton, of course, have a lot of time to get it right. And I think they will probably beat Crystal Palace in the next round. But, Chelsea scoring 5 goals away from home, and Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount and Tomori, 3 youth players that Lampard promoted into the Chelsea first team. And remember that Tammy Abraham was on loan in the Championship 2 seasons in a row, and he scored 20 plus goals in both seasons. So he was ready to play for Chelsea, and now he is actually the top scorer in the Premier League with 7 goals from 5 games. Can you believe that? And he didn't even start, I think, the first game for Chelsea, or maybe even the second game. So he scored 7 goals basically in the last 3 games, which is mind-blowing. What an incredible form Tammy Abraham is showing. He got substituted because of an injury, but I think it was just cramp, so it doesn't look serious. And Mason Mount also, what a player. At Derby County, he played really, really well, but I think at Chelsea he found another level. And Frank Lampard knows him because he was his manager at Derby County. And I think actually the transfer ban was a blessing in disguise for Chelsea, or not even in disguise, because Chelsea had so many great young players in and around their squad out on loan. And now, because of the transfer ban, they have to play them, and this is the breakthrough season for these young players. Maybe if Chelsea didn't get a transfer ban, they would have signed a world-class striker, and Tammy Abraham would be rotting away on the bench. And it shows that if you have good young players, you should give them some opportunities, because if they are ready, they will show that in the games. And Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount definitely are ready for the Premier League. So exciting times ahead for Chelsea fans. The Norwich-Man City game will be interesting also. I'm off to watch that as well, because Norwich have so many injuries. They have a makeshift defense with one midfielder playing in defense because they have so many injuries. But I fully expect Man City to win that game, and then the gap will be only just 2 points between Liverpool and Man City. And I think this will be the story of the season. Liverpool and Manchester City back and forth, exchanging leads at the top of the Premier League table. And I think the next 2 games for Liverpool are the biggest tests. Chelsea away, and before that Napoli away in the Champions League. But we are in our best form, so I'm really looking forward to those games. I don't think we will win both of them. I expect actually a draw at Napoli and a win at Chelsea, but Chelsea are a good team. Their defense is shaky, but attacking-wise, Chelsea are very good. So it will be a great game, I think. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.